When you're early on in your film watching adventures, you come across a film that stays special in the back of your head forever. You remember the first time and you keep watching over and over again. Oldboy was one of my first films of this nature. Lucky to say I had a chance to watch Oldboy in theaters recently, and yeah, Oldboy is good. 6 out of 10, thanks for watching. We should watch out for this Park Chan-Wook guy. A film has no business being this good, and I'm telling you right now, if you haven't seen this movie, do not watch this. If I had a second chance to watch Oldboy for the first time without any spoilers, I'd trade my entire savings account, which is upsettingly low at the moment. I am going to operate on the idea that most of you have seen Oldboy and enjoy it maybe as much as me. Sometimes films reach classic status and they become almost impossible to talk about. You don't have to dissect the film to know this, you just watch it and admit it's just got the juice. I'm going to break down the reasons why I believe this is a Mount Rushmore movie for me. Quick plot synopsis: a man is abducted and imprisoned for 15 years, then released. Once released, he faces a series of challenges by his captor. I want to take a moment and talk about my feelings towards Korean filmmaking. They understand that you should be absorbed by a film and will take every opportunity utilizing every element of film to entertain you. In this film specifically, we have kinda silly cuts at times. I say silly, but in reality, it's some of the best editing I've ever seen. We have impactful zooms, and we have insanely ridiculous methods for revealing ideas about the characters. The Korean films that make it into Western mainstream tend to show you something you haven't seen before every time. It's like they wouldn't even flirt with the idea of making a film unless they believe it could show viewers something for the first time. Might as well share some favorites so I get judged in the comments. The Wailing, A Tale of Two Sisters, Memories of Murder, Burning, The Handmaiden, Mother, I Saw the Devil, and obviously Parasite. I need to watch more, but hey, I'm just a white dude from the South, can't be too mad at me, man. Back to Oldboy. I am genuinely asking, is there a better hook to a movie than Oldboy? Yeah, dude, why are you holding onto a man falling off a roof who is, checking my notes, holding a dog? My guy, how did this happen to you? Please tell me your story. Something that Korean cinema does really well is they always have something to take away from a scene. This transition into Odaisu being held by the police is such a strong contrasting view of the same person. We just saw him strong, confident, and being such a presence. Now he's a goofball who drank a little too much. How did he go from this to that? Sounds like a good hook to me. We also get him being a happy dad who cannot wait to get home to give his daughter a cute gift. The way information is effortlessly conveyed to us without being forced down our throats. This scene is so important as it displays Park Chan-Wook's ability to tell us information without us realizing. In movies, you have to give us a strong reason to care about the characters. Just showing them being a good dad isn't enough. We need more than that. Park Chan-Wook has given us more than that so quickly. He has shown us that he is not perfect by any means. Getting drunk on your daughter's birthday is a little irresponsible, so you know he's a little relatable. And then he is put through hell. When he is in prison, this is one of my favorite segments of the film. It's just long enough where it doesn't drag, but it also shows you the range of emotions someone would feel in this situation. He's going crazy at first, flipping out, he loses hope, he's desperate, he becomes hopeful and starts training. These first 20 minutes of the film is a masterclass in getting us to care about a character. How does all of this happen in the first 20 minutes? I don't know if there's ever a better use of time in trying to show us why a revenge is necessary to Odaisu. The best showing of desperation has to be him pleasuring himself to this. I love the way it also shows current events through the television. When he is released from the box, one of the first things I notice is just how genuinely beautiful this movie is. The contrast with the green grass. Look how cool he looks here, man.
Nope.
I also love the use of classical music. I can't pinpoint why I love it so much. Maybe because it insists a bit of importance on certain scenes. Instantly, when I think of the twist to end all twist, I think of that soaring classical music. The piece of media I enjoyed the most in would probably be HBO's Watchmen. Sometimes you just gotta throw away analysis and just say, dude, that's so cool. Watching Odaisu's first tryout of his fighting skills is such a rush in this film. Obviously, he's a protagonist in a revenge film who's been training for 10-ish years. He's gonna kick these guys' asses, but like, I'm sorry, I don't have fantastic analysis here. This is something other films can do so poorly, especially in this genre. Within 20 minutes of this film, it somehow feels like he's been training for an eternity, and that's 1000% on the filmmaker. Making 20 minutes feel long in this context is perfect. One thing thing I do want to talk about in this film are the ants. Remember when I said Korean filmmaking utilizes every possible way to tell a story? What the hell are these ants? I remember watching this film at first being so confused by the ants, which shows you just how dumb I was at that time, because Mito, the woman he ends up shacking up with, explicitly tells us what the ants are.
저 구독하면 무조건 개미죠. 내가 만나본 진짜 이런 사람들은 다 잠깐이라도 개미 한각 겪었어.
One thing I want to highlight with the ants is how Odaisu and Mito hallucinate the ants. I find this really interesting because they have both been under the spell of hypnosis. So it's just a cool fact to look back on. It shows you how complex and thorough Lee Jin's plan was. Let's fast forward to one of the most famous scenes of all time. There are so many things I want to talk about here. I love these degraded and rotted colors. The greens are disgusting in the best way imaginable. This scene took about 15 takes and 2 days to shoot, and the outcome is one of the most memorable fights in history. It was such a fantastic idea to just have the camera sliding down this plane instead of trying to follow close up with a bunch of quick cuts and just become a forgettable part of the movie. The realism of this fight is a highlight. People are missing all the time. People are tired. People land blows. It also is a good demonstration of good VFX. They elongated Odaisu's arms at times just in case like it looked really fake and it looked like the person was never hit at all. Good VFX are the ones you typically don't notice. I love before the scene starts, we are given a different angle to demonstrate that this is one really narrow hallway, fitting about 3 people wide. This scene is followed by him seeing people in an elevator that he has to fight, and I love Park Chan-Wook's decision to not show it. We just saw a few minutes of fighting, we don't need to watch anymore. I trust you, man. I think he's coming out on top here. At this point in the film, Park Chan-Wook establishes that even though he's taking super serious subject matter, this movie is legitimately funny. I love his face after he fights everyone. I love the people collapsing and kind of making a bowling pin noise as they fall. Of course, the hammer with the tracking dots is hilarious. He just finds a way to give us effortlessly funny scenes during some of the most impactful scenes of the entire film. Even the funny bits are stylized. When he rips out the teeth of this dude and he finally says something of importance during his torture scene. It's funny, but it's also super impactful. Could you imagine hearing the phone call where you get to see where it all started? Those words to Odaisu are so important, and Park Chan-Wook just turns it into a sorta kinda funny moment. I believe this film should get way more credit for being able to be funny without seeming sporadic. As you know, this is one of the most depressing stories ever told on film. No one wins. Odaisu has his family taken away from him. They are murdered. He is blamed for it. He is the reason his best friend, who has been helping him, gets killed. The girl that he falls in love with is captured, tortured because of him. It's found out that he's been shacking up with his daughter the entire time. It's just not a good time for our guy. Same with the antagonist of this film. His entire life is consumed by the loss he experienced that he blames Odaisu for. And even though he comes out extremely victorious, he ends his life instantly because he knows he will never be able to find that bond again. He knows his work is finished and no one wins. How does this movie pull off being so funny?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Something this film does incredibly well is completely derailing your expectations. Oh, big fight coming, here comes a bunch of quick cuts. Nope. Oh, he's searching for the guy who did this to him, it'll probably take a while. Nah, he just shows up and tells him, "Sup, dude, I imprisoned you." There's not a predictable aspect to this film, which makes me much more angry that my brother predicted the entire twist in the first 25 minutes. I'm going to assume that's an outlier. You know, Lee Woo-jin's been practicing this badass shit to say in the mirror for months. By him being the one imprisoning him for so long, we are instantly forced to respect the power this man holds. When he threatens that every woman Odaisu will ever love will be killed by him, we have reason to believe him. These characters have both lost everything. They have this weird sense of purpose because they have nothing else to live for. I firmly believe he steals the show of this film at times, which is something you want from the villain of your film. What you want from your villain is he can't just be evil cuz. He needs reasons where you go, okay, I get it. He needs a few scene-stealing moments, and he needs to be threatening to the main character's goals and way of life. Oh, Lee Woo-jin, you a freak. There is such a great script here, and the way that it is put to the screen can be so unique at times. The scene where Odaisu is chasing his old self to try and remember what the hell happened to this woman is one of the most visually capturing scenes of the entire film. With the score heating up, this is what the film has built up to. I think one of the most heartbreaking parts of the scene is where he tells the friend that he is dead meat if he tells anyone what he just told him. He didn't want this to get out, he just told a friend. You know, he probably shouldn't have, but we were all guilty of telling people shit we probably shouldn't say to others. God, I love this zoom. Of all bad guys telling the good guy how successful their plan is before the big fight scenes, this gotta be up there. I mean, I guess he made his point, right? You know, making him bang his daughter to show that incest is great. No twist has ever been more impactful to a character before. Another idea I want to touch on is how accepting of information we are as the viewer. The ending is so insane, and we just kinda accept it. This man has been plotting for like 20 years on how to get back at this man, and it feels like one of those Yu-Gi-Oh! Fight scenes where everyone is constantly falling into trap cards. Other films would introduce hypnosis and we'd be questioning the choice. Here it works so much so that in the Oldboy remake, when they get rid of hypnosis, it makes the movie unwatchable. Maybe the rare case of a film being less believable by excluding hypnosis. Oldboy is one of the greatest payoffs we have in film, and every rewatch it's drilled into my mind that this is one of the best all-time performances we have ever seen. Every single time. The desperation being shown is something that can't be replicated. The range of emotions he demonstrates to us were at the core of this film. It's deeply sad, but he gives us moments of laughter and moments to remind us, yeah, how is this man remotely operating? Choi Min-sik, you're a star. It's a top 4 movie of all time for me, and there's no movie I recommend quicker to people than Oldboy. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments any Korean movies I should try to squeeze in. Bye-bye.